Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and well, I'm just having my morning constitutional. I thought at my age I better try and get a bit fitter if I can, and yeah, it's so just kind of having a little bit of a walk through the town, through the common as well, and just kind of chill out for a little bit. Yeah, so I hope you're all doing well. Yeah, this is kind of an interesting video because I was never quite sure what I'd think of or how I'd feel when the day came for when it actually happened. But I'm sure people would have heard this news long before I did. It's about 8:33 right now, so around about 4 hours ago, from what I can see on the group posted, Heung-min Son announced at the press conference in Korea that he's intending to leave the club, and the club are helping him facilitate the move, which for me is a kind of a mixture of a bolt out of the blue and also one that was kind of expected. I mean, I know that well, he's at the age of 33, and I know that he's looking to try and wind down as many professional footballers would at this time. And yeah, it is a case that the he's kind of done what he needed to do, and he has become a legend of the club. But at the same time, you know, it's still kind of a bolt from the blue, really, because I still kind of budgeted having him in the squad for at least the next season, so that completes his 10 seasons at the club. Because you didn't know, he came to us in the 2015-2016 season. I don't remember too much about that season. I mean, it was kind of he was in and out of the lineup, and reportedly he wasn't happy. I know a lot of people kind of like mentioned that quite a bit, that he was thinking about jacking the club in after that first season, but then he blossomed and he grew, and he became the player that we know today. And I know the last season, the last two seasons have I know people are desperate to say they've not been his best, and nobody calls yeah, especially at Luton when I think when he came on, there's just a lot of calls for him to just be sold, and I just kind of thought, wow, yeah, how quickly things change, you know, how soon they forget. I was never on that kind of train. I was on the train that maybe he should be reintegrated a bit more, because I just assumed that, you know, as he's getting older, it's just a case of age catching up. But then we kind of find out, you know, midway through, that he's actually carrying a little back injury, a little back strain. I'm not quite sure how long that's been with him, but but he's got the back strain now through pre-season, so just being eased in gently, as it were. And I thought, yeah, that's fine, you know, let him work through that, and then you know, we shall see the best of him, hopefully. But I know the last season or so that I mean, it was kind of like the same. I mean, when everyone was having a go at Kieran Trippier back then through some really jaded performances, even I said at the time, he's probably carrying an injury. Other players as well in that time that people have turned on because of perceived, you know, lack of effort, probably carrying an injury. And here it wouldn't surprise me if, most of last season, we find out that Heung-min Son was indeed carrying an injury. You know what I mean? It's quite easy to try and work out when performances drop that the way they have been. Then, of course, there's got to be something up. It's not just going to be, you don't have a world-class player just suddenly just turn off just like that. There has to be an issue or a reason behind it. And so, I guess I will come out in the wash soon enough, and we will find out, you know, what was up with him. But it is a case that that's kind of how it's been for the last season or so. So you have to kind of think these things through. And so when we find out that he's got a back injury right now in pre-season, it's not hard to work out that that's probably been something that's been niggling him for a little while. Back injuries are not something that just come and go easily. I should know. I've had a couple myself. And there's a case of managing them, a case of working through them. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's the case with Son at the moment, that he's got a bit of an injury. He's had it for a while because of the injuries that we've had all season, last season, and because of the nature of it all, that literally that's kind of what's happened. So, but you know how fans get. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have got one leg broken or your entire bottom half has been surgically removed. They expect you to perform day in, day out. And so that's what's happened, really. But it's still a bolt from the blue, really, this announcement from Son. I mean, as I said, I don't remember too much his debut season, but he played a pivotal role in us, challenging for the Premier League title on those 3 occasions. One where we finished 3rd behind Leicester and Arsenal. The second when we finished 2nd behind Chelsea. And the next one where we finished 3rd behind Manchester City and Manchester United. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And then he's been kind of pivotal throughout. I mean, I know people would look at it and just think that him being at the club is just nothing but a cash cow for the club, for to try and break into the agent market. And this is why you just can't take people like that too seriously, man, because he's obviously a phenomenal player, one of the best in the world, and we are so lucky to have him. And the fact that last season he broke his trophy duck with us, that was the important. That's what I wanted for him the most, because he stayed loyal. He stayed with us. He was the captain that we needed at that time, and he did the business. He scored goals. He laid on goals, and he was just a joy to watch. And he was loyal, and that's what I can't stress highly enough. He was loyal when every other player was trying to jump ship. A lot of men out there kind of, enough people out there still lauding Harry Kane as a legend. He left when the going got tough. You know what I mean? He left. But people were still. It was kind of annoying watching a lot of Spurs fans, during the Club World Cup, talk about, Kane's on TV, Bayern Munich are doing this. I don't care what Bayern Munich are doing. I don't give a toss. And before that, Kane tried to engineer a move to Manchester City. People forgotten that as well. But no, let's ignore that. Let's not look at Kane being the architect of that. We can't blame him because of how the club were challenging for trophies at that point, and it's due to him, and I'll maintain it's due to him. In those big games, I'm not talking about Arsenal, I'm not talking about Chelsea, I'm talking about big games where it counted, it mattered, where we needed 3 points to challenge further in the league, or turn up in a semi-final or final. Those are big games as far as I'm concerned. When that happened, he was nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen. But Sonny at least tried and at least turned up. He turned up, and boy did he turn up. So you have to put some respect on his name, really. So we shall see what happens. You know what I mean? But that's why he'll always have a place in my heart. That's why he'll always have a place in my heart. And so it was kind of a bit of a bolt from the blue when I read this morning at nearly 4 a.m. our time. He made the announcement in Korea, and yeah, I can kind of understand it. I kind of understand it. And he said that the club are helping to facilitate that move for him. And yeah, like I said, you know, to me he's a legend. So he leaves with my blessing. He wants to ease on down his career. He leaves with my blessing. Super proud to have him. And yeah, we shall see what happens. There's a nice little view for you. Let me just show you. As some of you do know, I live down south, and some of you may recognise that this iconic stadium. Hopefully one day I'll get to see Spurs playing there again soon. We shall see. But for me, the two clubs are intrinsically linked, not just through me, because I live down here now, but also through history. If you look close enough, if I show you that, 1949, champions of England. Got the barrier in the way there. The next one there was 1950, champions of England. And who won the league after that? Yeah, you guessed it. You guessed it. So here we go. So they have a bit of history behind them. And of course, that 2008 FA Cup winners in 2010. That's infamous for us as well, where we were probably to beat us in the semi-final. Was never able to live that one down. But they lost in the final anyway to, I think it was to Chelsea. Hey, but it's all good. It's all good. But back onto Son. So yeah, I mean, we've had 9 years of loyal service from him, and yeah, you have to say he has been, for the most part, brilliant in that. If you take away the initial season where he kind of where he joined us and he was kind of nervous, obviously first time in England, been in Europe I think for a couple of seasons before then, but obviously it's the settling in period that he needed, and boy did he settle in. So that's why for me he'll always be a proper legend, because he went through all that, had doubts, you know, as a youngster, obviously looking to leave, but he was convinced to stay, and he knuckled down and he did the business. You get me? So and boy did he do the business. He was unlucky in many seasons. I mean, he played his heart out. Who could forget? I mean, not just the Europa League win last season, but who could forget the Pushkash award he received for that fantastic goal against Burnley? You remember that one? From our penalty area, ran through 4, I think, Burnley defenders in the end, and then still had the energy to just knock it in. You can tell he was knackered at the end of that because the celebrations were so muted. Yeah, so things like that, and who could begrudge him getting that award? You know what I mean? One of the nicest guys in football. Obviously there were some downs as well. I mean, I think he's been sent off twice. One of those for a broken leg, inflicted on was it João Gomes? Yeah, can't remember who it was. Played for Everton. It was accidental. I think he slid as he went tackling. And yeah, it was unfortunate. He was in tears at the end of it. But yeah, completely accidental to the point that even João Gomes says, you know, it happens. It wasn't your fault. I think he knows that Sonny's not that type of player. He's not a dirty type of player who will do that. And I think his other red card was. I think his other red card was in this FA Cup semi-final, was it? Where inexplicably playing, was it red card? I know he gave away the penalty. No, I don't think he was sent off. He probably wasn't sent off, it's just my imagination, but he did give away a penalty in that game. Because he was playing at left back, a position that he's not familiar with. Like I say, a lot of things I blame Pochettino for sabotaging our trophy ambitions, and yeah, fortunately Sonny was the scapegoat for that one back then. But it is what it is. It is what it is. He come through that and been an important cog in the Spurs wheel since then. So yeah, I mean, amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Another goal that I remember of his was when we were playing at Wembley for those 2 seasons, and I think we were trailing West Ham going into like the last 2 minutes of the game, something along those lines, and he picked up the ball from a little bit outside the penalty area. That was back then when he used to shoot quite a bit from distance, and it was always kind of was mostly on target. Always, well, actually no, he's always on target. But just mostly scored, and that ball buried into the top corner there to get the equaliser in that game. Yeah. On the whole, I think Wembley was the most pleasant experience. I don't think we had. I mean, other teams were that happy to play at Wembley, which is why they always up their game then. But no, he performed. I just think him at the Champions League run as well. No, he was good. It was good. So numerous runners-up medals for him at Spurs. So it shows that he did have a successful. If you want to look at that in that way, he had a very successful time at Spurs. Just couldn't really get over the line, and that was the issue. I mean, runners-up in the league, runners-up in the League Cup twice, I think that was, and runners-up in the in the Champions League, and then finally a winner's medal in the Europa League. And I can understand why he wants to go out on a high, and I hope he doesn't think it's because his body's given out. I mean, that mean it just has to be easy. He has to be taken into a second phase of his career. I mean, he's now an elder statesman at 33, you know, so his time has to be managed. But yeah, it's a case that completely rocked me this morning. It really did. But I wish him well. I mean, the clarion calls are all about him looking to go to LA. If I should believe the so-called ITKs, it's LA this and LA that. I presume it's LAFC. That's the team, not LA Galaxy. At least LAFC are the team on the up. Galaxy, once great, but they are just kind of fallen by the wayside in the MLS. I don't think they even qualified for any intercontinental competitions. You know, was it CONCACAF? Yeah, CONCACAF Champions League, or they weren't there in the Club World Cup. It was LAFC, so I hope for his sake he's going to the more successful of the 2 LA teams. It's a bit like Thierry Henry going to New York Red Bulls when they were pretty much on the way down. So hopefully he goes to the bigger of the LA clubs, and he absolutely outshines everyone there. Of course, he'll be joining up with his former teammate Hugo Lloris. Another memory there. This was during lockdown when the two of them had a spat on the pitch. I can't remember which game it was now, but it was as half time was called, and they were all heading into the tunnel, and Lloris sprints halfway down the pitch just to shove Son in the back and remonstrate with him, and he, you know, and we see it in the documentary where they kind of explain, well, they kind of show the scenes later on in the changing room, and Sonny was just in total shock, whereas Lloris is apoplectic. Mourinho was loving it. He was saying, he wants to see his players, sort issues out themselves on the pitch and whatnot. But they sorted it out. They were friends again at the end. Again, they were boys afterwards. It's all good. But yeah, if that's what happens, then that's who he'll be linking up with when he goes out to LAFC. So it'll be good for him to know somebody out there, I think. But for Spurs, I mean, what does the future hold for us? I mean, at least he's gone out on a high. He's won us a trophy. He said he'll never leave until we win that trophy. He's won us that trophy. He goes with my blessing. He'll always be a legend. I mean, the kind of football that Thomas Frank wants to play obviously needs to have defending from the front. So I'm guessing that's where Kudus obviously comes in, and he showed what he can do brilliantly in the friendlies that he's played so far. And also, I mean, we've got players like Johnson, who are now learning to track back and stuff. Not learning, he's been doing that for time. And then we got Yamin Hook, the youngster from Korea, who has been on loan at QPR. And do you think he's going to be groomed to be his successor? Well, he has on loan to QPR, not from QPR. He's going to be groomed to be Sonny's successor. That's what I kind of thought would happen, that Sonny would stay and be a mentor to the youngsters that we have in those positions. I mean, another one, Tyler, I've forgotten the surname now. Oh, he was brilliant against Wickham. Set up the equaliser, in fact. It's all Pat Mattisar. But yeah, we've got a lot of good young wingers that I assumed that Sonny was going to stay and kind of bring through and help bring through before he was on his way. But as I said, completely and utterly get it. Completely and utterly get it. It is a, he wants to carry on playing. He wants to carry on playing at a decent level. So I can understand that. But it'll still be like a heavy wrench in my heart the day. It was always going to be a heavy wrench the day that he does go, because he has Spurs at his heart and you can see it. Never has a bad word to say about Spurs. Never does. And he's always there to make time for the fans, always. I'm going to miss that. And yeah, I do wish him well. I mean, he's made the announcement, so you got to think that it's probably something that's going to happen. He's said that that's his wish. So it's a case of having to help facilitate it, because as he's now a club legend, you want him to, you want to help him be comfortable. You always look after your legends. You always look after the ones that have put themselves out for you. They always, the ones that have helped you break a trophy duck, the ones that stayed to make sure you break that trophy duck, the ones who go out of their way to prove to you that they are Spurs through and through. Those are the ones that you spend most of your time doing your best for. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, he's lucky to wind down. We do the very best we can to help him. And I'm so proud of you, Sonny. To have a look where I am right now. Just the common area. It's quite a large one as well. I mean, maybe one day I'll do a video in the common area. I can show you how extensive it is. But yeah, it's a lovely place. It's always a great place to go during summer. I see they've installed goals over there now, so that's something. But yeah, I'm going to go into the dense bush over there and just kind of lose myself for a bit. But once again, what I will say is thank you, Heung-min Son. You have been absolutely brilliant for us. Thank you for helping us win our first trophy in 17 years. Thank you for staying loyal to the club. You are a club legend and you will go down as such. Thank you again from my heart. Heung-min Son. Nice one, Sonny. Let's have another one before you go, eh?